What is up, guys, and welcome back to Flow State. It is episode 44, and don't worry, guys, I'm back. I'm here to kind of steal the show back from Adam, who did a fine job of taking the reins last week, and I do apologize to everyone for that. Just what happens when you are a dad and have a full-time job, and this is definitely not even a side hustle for us, really. This is more of a passion project, and sometimes it had to get, or in this instance, it had to get put on the back burner for family time. But Adam, mate, I appreciate you taking the reins. I heard you were answering some pretty good questions, and it's great to be back chatting with you, mate. And there's a bit of a cough I hear, mate. What's going on? How are you today?
Yeah, mate, I'm not too bad. It's flipping great to have you back, and good to be back speaking with you and not speaking to myself and feeling so awkward and so anxious as I record 40 minutes of monologue.
Sorry to interject already, but I listened to the start, and every time you go, "Oh, I'm not as confident," talking to myself, I'm like, it doesn't come across that way, mate. You speak, good. You're very proper in how you speak, is what
That's
I'll
good.
say.
We've had lots of practice, but yeah, I'm glad to have you back. That's the main thing. Like I said to you there, just off. I was going to say off camera, but it was off, I guess, before we started recording. Yeah, I'm a bit under the weather. I haven't been too well since about Wednesday, and listen, I'm not too bad. It's probably no more than a pretty bad head cold, but feels pretty grim in the morning, and have skipped the swimming in the last few days because I just don't want to be in the pool and making things worse. But yeah, man, I'm feeling a bit under the weather, so might need you to pick me up a little bit.
I'll do my best. It's I'm coming off the back of a bye weeks for all intents and purposes, so I'm feeling pretty fresh today. So I'm happy to try and take some of the entertainment. I don't know if that's what we'd call it, but make it happen. But yeah, where should we start, mate? So I mean, you've obviously?
Well, I was just going to say, if I'm off blowing my nose, I'll try my best to kind of like move this microphone out of my way, and
not get ASMR up in this nose blowing ASMR.
Where do we start, mate? Where do we start? Well, Harry Styles has just released a new album.
Yeah, someone at work was talking about that.
So just when I get up this morning, I must admit, is Harry Styles a guilty pleasure? Nah, he's not even a guilty pleasure anymore. He's just.
I get no guilt.
Yeah. No, me neither. To be honest,
we're grown men.
Pretty cool guy. I feel like we've grown up with Harry Styles.
I'd say we have. I think he's our age as well, isn't he? Early 30s, maybe mid 30s.
He is, yeah. But just popped up on that first song that he released, I absolutely love. Aperture, and then
I didn't.
No, I'm a fan of it. I like it a lot. And did you see his performance at the Brits? It was great.
I need to watch it.
Very good. But the reason why we're going to chat about Harry in a second is because he's also a runner. But
he's a keen marathon runner.
Yeah, just woke up this morning, early bells to record this, and got a little notification from Spotify, or Spoofed as my wife likes to call it.
I like that.
And it was that Harry Styles has released his brand new album. So just as I was making my morning coffee and taking my double dose of paracetamol,
got the cowpole on deck.
I had Harry in my ears. So I'm just going to have a quick look. I got through 7 tracks, 7 of 12, and so far sounding pretty good. I always think first listen of an album is it's like
it's not make or break, but it can say a lot.
It's definitely not make or break. And I actually kind of disagree with that second point. I almost think it doesn't say a lot. I kind of think you have to spin it a few times before it says a lot. Well, for me anyway. My first listen's always just like very surface level, just like,
sure.
All right, yeah, it sounds all right. Yeah, it sounds cool, whatever. And then like once you start listening over and over and over again, like that's what I do. That's when I kind of think, and like if songs are getting stuck in my head, like that's good.
That's good.
It's bloody good. But sounds good. I like it so far. So that's that.
I'm loving this conversation already. See, I've got two really important thoughts about both Harry Styles and listening to an album. See, for me, like first listen of anything isn't make or break, but I know there's a seed is planted if let's say it's a 12 track Album, yeah. And if there's a couple of songs where I'm like really like, okay, this is a banger. This is a banger. I'm like, I'm gonna even the ones that aren't are probably gonna be worth listening to, like on repeat. Let's say they don't get me the first time. I'm like, there's something in this album. If there's at least one or two that are bangers, right? And I think nothing says this more for me than I don't know the name of it. Harry's second album, the one with like Golden, Watermelon Sugar, Adore You. That
Good
for
album.
me is a that is mate. I'm not a massive fan of his first or his the one that came after that, but this album was banging, and I knew because I listened to it and I was like, oh, there's a couple here that I'm loving, and I
It's
listened
called
to it on
Fine Line.
Fine Line. That's it. That's it. And then I listened to it a few more times. I was like, this is gotten to this day because he's actually announced that he's coming back to Australia in like November or something, and it's a shame. I probably wouldn't see him, but if I knew he was doing a bunch of songs
Yeah,
from
I
that
wouldn't see
album,
him either.
I know we actually got tickets and sold them when Nicole was pregnant the first time around, because she was like so sick, and I saw the set list and I was like, I don't regret not going. But if I knew he was like, if he was to go and do this album in its entirety, I'd probably go. I'd be like, yeah, go on in.
Yeah. Do you not like Harry's House? I like that album, the last one. Thought it was
Nah,
very
it
good. No, I
didn't get
liked
it
it a
for
lot.
me. And the track he released from this album, I was like, not too sure about. But I will give the album a listening context to give it a proper go.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I really liked it. It was one of those songs that like first listen didn't blow me away, and now I could listen to it on repeat
mhm.
5 times over easily. I think it's a brilliant song.
There you go.
Um, yeah, and I guess before just that
We should
we've just talked about
tie this into running a little bit before we
yeah, well,
lose
we will because we know Harry's a
everyone.
runner, and he actually just did an interview with Runner's World.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, so he did it with I'm gonna butcher his name. He done it with Haruki Murakami, who's a Japanese novelist who wrote the book What I Talk About When I Talk About Running. Don't know if you've
Mhm.
ever read that, but
Yeah.
any running fans out there, that is an absolute must read. If you're into running and you're into reading, or even audiobooks, or however you consume your literature.
Your
So
material.
yeah. So I definitely recommend listening to that, or sorry, reading that book and also reading that interview. Quite good. But yeah, I was just going to say before we talk about Harry and his running, um, do you have a favorite album of all time? We mentioned
Ooh,
Crisps the other day. What about
man,
albums?
I wasn't ready for this. See, I thought
No,
about the Chris question.
that's a tough question.
See, the thing is, even if I said yes, I think the issue is like my music background is definitely like weird 2010s heavy metal and rock music. And
That's
so
all right.
even if I did, no one's going to have a bloody clue what I'm talking about. There's, you know what? There is one album that has, I don't know if I wouldn't say it's my favorite because I listen to a lot of different genres. So it'd be like Horses for Courses. But there's an album called Fools and Worthless Liars by a
Mm,
band called Death Havana, who I have a very like, this band is, I've been listening to this band for a long time. I saw them when they were very small. They've been through it all. And that was, it kind of says something about the time in my life that the album was released, which I think was 2011.
hmm
And it was a very, very like, it was good times. And yeah, very fond memories. So guys, if you fancy a little bit of kind of English, they're from Norfolk, English alternative rock music from the early 2010s. Give that a listen.
What's the name?
The band is called Deaf, as in can't hear, Havana, and it's the album Fools and Worthless Liars.
Okay,
It's
I'm going to
it's a
listen.
I don't think many people will vibe with it because it's so, I guess it's contextual, but that's
Do you know?
probably up there.
Mm.
What about you, mate?
Genres: alternative rock, pop punk, power pop, folk punk. I like it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
they've got a lot of folk influence,
gonna have to give that a spin. The one that really stands out to me anytime I think about this question is whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not by the Arctic Monkeys. That album for me was like, excuse me, the coming of age album that kind of like I listened to throughout my teenage years and still listen to today, and it's still, excuse me, mate, I still love every track on that album. Um, it's unbelievable. Like, it was released in 2006 when I was 12. No, I was
Good
actually
year.
11. Released
Good
in
year.
January 26 or 2006. But yeah, just unbelievable album. Like musically, I don't know if it's my favorite, but in terms of like impact, I'm gonna say it was. I think it has to be because I loved it then, and I still love it now, and yeah, unbelievable.
I think that's definitely something that happens as you get older. Is that this fondness for certain music or films? It becomes contextual. It's like this album. Like I wouldn't necessarily listen to it if it was released today, brand new, but because it meant such as it did at the time, and like you said, it was such a coming of age thing. It's like that's the
Yeah,
weight it holds.
I reckon if whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not was released today, it would blow people's minds because the sound and the like musically and their sound is so unique on that album, and yeah, I reckon people would just be completely blown away by that. Plus the kind of the concepts and the things that they talk about, like the everyday life growing up as a teenager in England where they were from in Sheffield. It's just so relatable to people here. So yeah, what an album. It was kind of like my definitely maybe. Do you know how people from the 90s who were maybe teenagers in the 90s talk about definitely maybe, that kind of like coming of age album or that like iconic album by Oasis? That's kind of like my equivalent to definitely maybe.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
that are maybe
okay,
like 10 years my senior,
yeah, yeah.
that were maybe into like Oasis or Blur at the time. I would have to say that's my kind of equivalent. Um, can I ask you another album question?
I'd love you to. Yeah, boy, I did a
I've,
music degree. I'd
I've
love
got
to
a
talk
real
about
thing.
music.
Did you, Myth?
Yeah, my
Oh,
degree is
yeah, that's right. We spoke
music
about
tech,
that.
man. Yeah,
That's right. I've got
yeah,
a real
man.
thing for albums, do you know?
Mm,
As opposed to just listening to music randomly.
sure.
Um,
Yeah.
and that definitely comes from my dad. But can you remember the first album you ever bought or
Yep.
was bought for you?
Yep.
Yeah? Is
I
it
remember.
embarrassing?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I don't have. See, I'll give you two. I'll give you two, and I'll tell you why. The first album that I ever was bought. There's a fabulous musician, man. Like he's so. I guess at the time he was very like highly rated, but he didn't last very long on the scene. A guy called James Morrison from
Oh,
about
yeah.
from about
Yeah, he used to absolutely blow up the UK festival scene.
Mate, he did. And I remember vividly, because again, I was about 10 when I first heard it. You don't know why something is so good. You're just like, every fucking track is a banger. And I
It's
remember
talking to
getting
me.
I remember getting his talking to me. I'm hearing things, man. His first album, Undiscovered, I'm pretty sure it was called.
That's right.
My mum bought it for me, and I just remember, like, because back in the day, kids won't know this anymore because it doesn't happen like this, but you basically have like 3 CDs and that is your music catalog. And in my instance, I had 1 CD, and I maybe had like, now that's what I call music, like 40 or something. Do you remember them? The
Mate,
the
those albums used to
compilations.
give me like anxiety because it was just too much going on.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But I remember vividly having a couple of those and this James Morrison CD. I just play it on repeat, and it's still to this day. I probably haven't listened to it in years, but if I were to listen to it, probably get goosebumps. That was the first album, and
Some bangers on that album. I know exactly the one you're talking about. Like,
bangers. I'm gonna go listen to it, frankly.
yeah. You Give Me Something was the
Yes, that was the title, not the
that
title
was the
track,
one
but
that if
the
you
single.
were ever watching like the highlights of Glastonbury or Reading and Leeds and he was playing, it would be like a sunny evening, 6 p.m. and James
Everyone,
Morrison was just belting it out on stage.
everyone with their like pints of cider and
Yeah,
loving life.
he's still touring. I just looked him up. He's playing Dublin on the 16th of July this year.
I think about 10 years ago, he went really like bluesy. Like he did a bluesy album with like a I'm not sure the correct term. I don't want to get cancelled, but he had like uh, an African background, like choir, and it was like very like bluesy, black oriented music. And it wasn't my thing, but I was like, man, good on you for like reinventing yourself and trying to stay like not even
Yeah,
stay relevant, because that's not trying to stay relevant. That's simply just
yeah.
trying to make the music you enjoy
Well,
making.
just that's exactly it. Just growing with like your music growing with you or changing with you. But
100%.
I was going to say something there. That's a good first album, mate. Mine
Yeah, man.
was, and this is just what I wanted to say actually, because that's what I wanted to say. Yeah, you said just now like you could listen to it on repeat. Do you know how when you put on one of those now, that's what I call music albums, like you just couldn't listen to it on repeat because the
Nah,
songs don't like, it's just,
you're gonna get some stinkers
it doesn't
somewhere
make
along the
sense,
line.
you know,
Yeah,
like shuffle on a Spotify playlist, it might be
yeah.
good occasionally, but it just doesn't, like, there's no flow. It doesn't,
Sometimes
when
I
you
need
listen to
that.
a
I don't
really
know.
quality album though, it's just unbelievable. It's like an experience, you know?
It's
But
art,
my
man.
first album, well, that's it. That's it. It's designed that way, isn't it?
For sure.
There's been a lot of thought put into most of them anyway. The order. My first album, mate, was Confessions. Can you think of who that was by?
It rings a bell. You're gonna have to give it to me because I don't want to make myself look stupid on camera.
Can you guess? I like this, mate. It's like quiz time.
Confession. It's not. I want to say it's an like an R&B
Yep.
or
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake.
No, not bad.
No.
No, but you were absolutely on the right track, mate. Do you want me to give you a track?
Go on in. This is so good. This is such good listening for the. We've lost all our audience. It's just me and you now doing
Okay,
this,
mate.
mate.
I'll give you a track. Burn.
Oh, it's I can hear the track in my head. The Jason Derulo's. I know it's not Jason Derulo, but he's who's coming to
You're on
mind.
the right. You're
I know
on the
I
right
am.
lines, man.
I know I am. Oh, mate.
I'll give you one more track. Okay, another track is Yeah with an exclamation mark.
Matt, I know who it is. I just can't think of the name.
All right, mate. Will I give you it?
Go on, give it.
It's Usher.
Shut up, mate. Yeah. See, I was getting everyone else. I was getting Neo coming to my head. I was getting Nelly coming to my head.
That was my first album. I have
It's not
vivid
bad.
memories.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I don't really know why because I was never really into R&B or like that. Well, I suppose it's kind of pop as well, but I have vivid memories of like lying in bed going to sleep at night with my
Your
I don't even
Walkman.
remember what I actually think it was a really, really, really old Bluetooth or MP3 player.
Okay. I can say you wouldn't have Bluetooth back in.
My sister, sorry, I meant MP3. Do you know the little like ones that look like a USB stick? My
Yeah, I
sister had
remember.
a Walkman. I don't think I ever had a Walkman.
No,
But
they was cassettes. That was like
I
really
had a
going
CD
back.
player in my room, and I also had when the first like MP3 players came out, I got one of those. But I remember the struggle to get music on it. I had to go up to like my friend's house, and his big brother would have like put the music on for me.
You have to
and
burn the
then
CD onto the computer and then burn it.
when
back
you got
off.
new music on your MP3 player, it was like a new life. Do you know?
It's a miracle. That's what it was.
It was unreal. That was my first album, and I have, like I say, I have distinct memories of listening to that, like going to sleep. There was a part in one of the songs that sounded like someone was shouting, and every time I heard that part of the song, I had to like take my earphones out. No, but I thought someone in my house was like calling, calling my name or calling like something was wrong or something. So I have a real vivid memory of that. But that was my first album. That was 20 minutes with Adam and Luke.
That's fantastic. That's our music podcast done. We've got this.
But anyone that's running, that's the takeaway here. If you're running and you like listening to music when you run, just start listening to albums when you go on a run. So like cue maybe one album and listen to it. And if it rolls around again because you're out for like an hour or something, let it roll around again and just listen to it. You will just experience the album.
Even better, instead of going for a distance on your run, set your Garmin to the same amount of time as the album, so you can time it perfectly. That when it stops, you roll up home. There you go. That is for free, listeners. You can have that.
Yeah, that's
Let's go back to talking about Harry, because I'm actually really intrigued and interested to hear what he had to say, or in fact, what they were asking him on the interview. Because again, I think he has broken. Has he broken 3 hours for his marathon?
yeah. He's ran 2:59.
There you go.
He ran 2:59:13. I just looked it up. And he of course ran under the name Stead Sarandos. He didn't run under the name of Harry Styles.
No,
So yeah,
he
that was in Berlin last year. I actually think Berlin was very hot last year as well.
It was, yeah, because he did
Of
Tokyo
course,
as well last year.
did Tokyo. I think he ran. Mate, I don't know.
3 hours low.
20. No, I don't know. Maybe 3:15, 3:16, or 3:20. I don't know. But he ran Berlin. I'm just looking at a photograph. Berlin was hot this year, or 2025, and he ran it in a black long sleeve top. So he needs to get himself a singlet, mate.
Yeah, I'm sure he can afford one. Frankly. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I reckon he probably can.
Unless he was trying to
yeah.
stay as like inconspicuous as possible.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like people aren't going to recognize him for his arms.
Nah, I don't reckon he is, because I don't know. Anyways,
Maybe.
yeah, 2:59, man, and obviously the running world kind of, well, not so much the running world, maybe the non-running world kind of blew up when he did that, because everyone knows that a sub 3 hour marathon is like the holy grail for hobby
For
joggers.
most. Yeah, for most.
And yeah, he ran a fast time, so fair play. But the interview was quite deep. I read it. I kind of speed read it because it was quite long as well. Maybe I'll go back and read it again, because I like the guy Murakami. That I like his books. But it was really just about. It was very deep. And yeah, just kind of spoke about how running is this thing that, I don't want to butcher this. Like, no one's going to run a marathon for him, if that makes sense. So he credits a lot of his success, very humbly, I guess, to the team around him and the people around him, and how, yeah, like the production and his music is nearly not just his work, it's kind of the work of everyone, and he really does give credit to that team, whereas he wanted to do something that just like was just him and just based off his pure graft, and that's kind of what he done during his break, wasn't it? He kind of took a year off from doing anything work related, and people thought he would go and do some crazy things. I know he partied on a boat in Ibiza, pink boat, nice. Pink catamaran for a while. But yeah, he ran a couple of marathons and 2:59, man. So maybe he'll run sub 2:50 this year.
Do we know if anyone's coaching him, or is he self-coached? Anything like that?
Haven't a clue.
You'd presume there's a coach somewhere or someone helping him along the way. Yeah,
maybe. But
I feel like sub 3 is not easy to get if you're self-coached. You'd have to be, or you'd have to be pretty switched on.
Don't know. I reckon if you run 5 days out of 7 and you do that for, well, listen, it all depends, doesn't it? We're going to open up a can of worms here, like, but I mean, the alpha flies help.
Sure do.
You're right. It's definitely not an easy feat. But I mean, he's going to be, what I'm trying to say is he's going to have a pretty good base because he's a performer. I think people underestimate how sort of strong, healthy, and fit a performer has to be. You watch him on his tour or whatever, he's flipping bouncing about that stage, on his own with no, like, you know, he's not part of a band, if you know what I mean.
Singing,
he is
frankly,
singing, dancing, all the rest, like every night. So that's a feat of endurance in itself. So he's going to be fit. He's going to be strong. He's going to have to look after himself. So you add some running into that mixture, and a pair of flashy red alpha flies and a bib for Berlin Marathon. Well, 2:59. But yeah, maybe he'll go out and he'll run. I know when he released his tour dates for this year, there was a lot of speculation around the gaps
lining
in the tour
it up
dates.
Around, yeah.
And people were kind of saying this lines up perfectly with, I think, maybe New York Marathon or maybe Sydney. I don't know, but Yeah, no doubt. He clearly loves his running because one of the few interviews that he has done was with Runner's World. So
Mm.
yeah, quite cool. But that's the Harry chat, mate. Our
Yeah,
guilty pleasure, or not so guilty pleasure.
no, there's no guilt here. I'd happily admit, like I said, there's no guilt. We're all grown men. We can enjoy a bit of Harry, to be honest with you. But yeah, talk to me. Obviously, that's Harry's training. I'm actually more interested in yours, mate. Like, how were
Nice
things
segue, mate.
going? Thank you, mate. How are things going prior to your time off? Obviously, you're not
Yeah,
running while you're
so
a bit unwell.
the last couple of days have been pretty rough. Usually, if I have a head cold, I will like jog, but I feel miserable, mate. So yeah, last couple of days have been restful. I did cover, like I said to you before we started, I kind of covered a bit of a longer week of training when I recorded last week's episode on. This is going to be a real time, like head messer
Tuesday, wasn't it?
for anyone listening. Yeah, recorded on Tuesday, released on Wednesday. It's currently Friday, but this episode will be released next Wednesday. But
Wednesday,
anyway,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, training's been good, mate. Quite easy and quite chilled. In and around the football because football has just been leaving my body pretty beaten up.
Yep.
Um,
And Liverpool
but
have been leaving your
oh man, don't even talk to me about it,
leaving the rest of you pretty
Yeah.
beat up. Sorry,
yeah,
I
yeah.
had
No,
to.
it's don't worry, mate. It's pretty bad. My father-in-law takes and gives me enough stick and abuse. He's a United fan, and
Oh, mate.
we walk.
The-
He comes to social run every week, and he made a complete dad joke about being thrown to the wolves on Tuesday night.
That's pretty good. I'll be honest with you. That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
it was a very typical dad joke. So Liverpool haven't been great, mate. We on the other hand, we won 4-0 last week, so good result for the boys. But yeah, mate, my kind of hip and pelvic region has been getting a bit of a beating. I think it's from just the constant like twisting and turning. But like even when I sneeze, it sounds so dramatic, but when I sneeze, I can like feel it. So yeah, that's kind of coincided with a bit of sickness this week, and I'm just taking a bit of downtime over the last few days. But I think, like I kind of said last week, I'm getting ready now to get back into just my running and kind of put my focus and emphasis on just training and the structure of training and the routine of training again. Without any real emphasis on races yet, because I've always taken more of a long-term approach, and that's what I'll continue to do. I won't rush myself into anything. But I'm really looking forward now. I've got that kind of that want in me to get back to training and get back to running. So football, I guess, has really served. It's really done exactly what I wanted it to do. It has scratched that little itch, but it's allowed me to take the kind of the break away mentally and physically from, maybe not physically, but definitely mentally, from just the routine of like regular running training. So really looking forward to getting back into that. Really looking forward to getting back into building very gradually and not overdoing it either. Being conscious of that and just not cooking myself, but just enjoying the kind of the build back to some good fitness. I actually feel like fitness is in a pretty good place, but I mean, I'll see next week when I start to do some more stuff, and when my body starts actually properly recovering between runs, where I'm not like playing football on a Saturday and suffering until Thursday. So yeah, that's where that's at. Again, like I said, no eyes on any races. Probably look towards something like a spring marathon in 2027. So like over a year from now.
Yep.
Be the kind of maybe the sort of, I don't even want to call that a long term goal. I want to call that like a medium sort of term goal. Short term, like I say, back to training, back into the regular routine. Perhaps over the summer, some fun runs like locally.
Yep.
Maybe like just some 5Ks, 10Ks for absolute fun. Here locally. Just maybe anything that's happening, I might jump in and on the day decide to go full gas or just have some fun and just run it as part of a training day. So that's where my kind of thoughts are. I'll still be swimming for sure, because I really enjoy the swimming, and I think it can complement the running quite nicely.
I think
Is
so.
Yep, I reckon,
A
because
good.
the sessions aren't long. Do you know, you're in the pool for an hour, but you're not swimming for an hour.
Mm.
And what you can also do is there's so many different options from, you know, there's so many lanes. So there's the top lane with all the fast guys and girls, which if you want to have a real like head out and a real session, like that's the lane. And similarly, then there's 2 or 3 other lanes that you can jump into beyond that. If let's say you are tired and you just want a bit more of a recovery session, you can do that too. So that's where the swimming is just perfect. Um, but yeah, that's where that is, and coincides nicely with some beautiful weather over the last few days. Well, yesterday was
Finally.
miserable, but Tuesday and Wednesday were absolutely lovely, and the sun is absolutely shining today, mate. So
It's
as much as I'm craving a
splitting
run, I won't be splitting the
splitting the
stones.
stones, mate. There you go.
Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful.
First one of 2026.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We've been. I had this unbelievable run on Tuesday where I felt spring for the first time. I had shorts on. I was overdressed because you kind of forget, or you don't realize how kind of pleasant it's going to be because you've been sort of rugging up all winter. But it was one of those runs where you feel spring for the first time. Sun is in the sky, no wind. I was lapping Craigavon Lakes here in Lurgan, and just feeling $1,000,000, and could have ran around there all night. And I want to say that that is potentially my favourite run of the year. The first
Ooh,
run
okay.
in, like, usually sometimes late February, sometimes early March. This year it was March the 3rd. I want to say that's potentially my favourite run of the year.
I think
Yeah.
the body is like craving vitamin D and sunlight, that when you finally get it and you're moving your body, it's like the body just is like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted and needed.
You
And that
realize
is
you realize how much seasonal depression you actually have,
bad. Yeah, yeah.
because you feel so good when it changes. So you realize how miserable the weather probably has been making you feel.
100%.
So yeah, that's my. I want to tell the listeners that's my favorite run of the year. That run, because you get this energetic feeling, and I can't remember what I was definitely listening to an album. I can't remember what album I was actually listening to, um, and it was just blissful.
Was it just a steady run? Were you doing any pace or?
It was just, I decided to run just whatever. Got out the door, felt pretty good, ran 16Ks, and kind of easy to steady. You know, I was kind of running maybe 3:45s, 3:50s by the end. Started
I
like
feel like
5 minute pace and just progressed, felt great.
I feel like that's the best distance for those kind of runs as well. That anywhere from like
Absolutely.
12 to 16K, because you're not cooking yourself, but you've got enough time to feel like you've got like a good amount of volume under your belt. Like those are some of the runs I miss the most, actually.
It's the sweet spot because
Yeah,
it's enough to get warmed up and get moving, but it's not enough to induce like that tiredness in your body.
yeah, you can still
Do you know?
function. Yeah, yeah.
When you feel great, the kind of the easy, steady 10 miler is my
Mhm.
favorite run.
Yeah. I'd
Absolute favorite run.
I'd have to agree, man. I'd have to
Yeah.
agree. I miss him dearly. I used to go. That's what I used to do on a Wednesday morning. Oftentimes, like still post injury, but before taking a break, I was doing like a 15K on a Wednesday morning, and it was about kind of like 6 7 a.m. The sun was just coming up in Melbourne, and you just flow, because my best runs always happen in the morning. It's just when I run best and feel best, and yeah, that's there's something pretty unbeatable about that. But I'm
What about
interested.
you,
So
mate?
j-
Sorry.
j- just before I was gonna say, have you got, obviously getting back into running? Is that looking like more volume? Is that looking like more intensity? Is it looking like both? Like, how are you structuring that?
Initially, probably less overall volume, to be honest, because I want to reintroduce some threshold. Just basic, like very, very simple basic threshold. And actually might, and again, we might talk about this next week because, yeah, I guess there's it's TBC, but I think I might enlist the help of a coach
Mm.
once more to navigate, help me navigate, hold my hand along along the
Usher
path
me along. Yeah.
back to fitness. So I obviously had quite a long period of time before I took the break of just self coaching. And sometimes I think, particularly as a running coach, it's really nice to have someone else just write the training
Take the
and
reins. Yeah.
just take the reins. That's exactly right. Just to basically write the plan and you just do it.
Is it?
Um,
I'm not going to say anything on air, but I think I might know. I'd like a guess at who it is because there's one person I know I've gathered that you'd be keen to work with. I might be completely talking out my ass, but we'll talk about it later. I've got one person,
yeah,
one name that comes in mind, but
cool,
yeah.
cool. Well, listen, that's something for probably next week. Um, if everything goes to plan, which we can maybe have a chat about next week. But like you say, yeah, just someone take the reins, write my training. I spend enough time thinking about other people's training, so when I start thinking about my own training, it just takes up time, energy. And I'm a serial overthinker, so kind of like procrastinate over things and
Sure.
just spend probably too much time. And yeah, I think it's a period of time that I'd really like to have that. So I guess initially, what it will probably look like is actually a reduction in overall volume. So, like from an hours per week perspective, probably a slight reduction, probably a slight increase in a little bit more quality, basic
Hmm.
threshold, and then we just build from there. I suppose. Do you know, we just
For sure.
go from there and build. And I just like the idea personally of building fitness, and like my initial short term goal is build fitness, and stack some just good weeks,
Hmm.
B plus kind of weeks, and see where that
Yep.
takes me, and think about races and peak performance later. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Beautiful, man. Exciting. And yeah, I mean, for me, it's been a bit of an all over the place kind of week. I got in because I guess we're catching up on 2 weeks, but the main ones that, or the main talking points, is I managed to get out for another ride this time last week. Obviously, it's Friday when we're recording. The last Saturday I went out by myself. I did. So there's basically a loop that goes from where I am up into some hills not too far. And normally I think it's about 15K, and I'm basically in the country, in the Aussie country, but it's not necessarily like what you imagine it to be. It's more kind of like green farmland, and there are a lot of kind of like rolling hills out there. So I took myself out there. I didn't really have a session in mind. My goal was to kind of go pretty hard up the hills, maybe do a few sprints, because I'm still learning bike skills at this point. So as much as anything, I just want to get comfortable riding fast, because I'd say for like a rank beginner, my bike handling skills are actually pretty good. Like I'm getting some fairly okay speeds on descents, so I really just want to spend as much time on the road as possible. So I did that last Saturday. That was a good ride. I think I clocked about 50K.
Yeah, I
I'd
was just
like
having a
to.
look at your Strava, mate.
Yeah, that wasn't bad, that one. And I did some nice hills, some nice sprints, and felt pretty good. Like, again, that was about 2 hours, and on the bike, that's not actually a huge amount of time. Like 50K, I would do more on Zwift in that time. Like if I was on the trainer, I could probably get 60 plus K done in that amount of time. So it wasn't actually that taxing. Sunday, I just ended up doing, I think I did about an hour 40 of just easy like zone 2 work. Again, I was on the trainer for this because as much as I would happily get out on the bike outdoors every day, like I do have a family, and sometimes I needs must that I have to wake up before they do, get my trainer session done so I can be around, and I did that. And yeah, I still remember feeling pretty good, so that's always a nice sign that I haven't overcooked it. And then normal gym training Monday, but then Tuesday, this is where things got a little bit interesting, because this will be one for the listeners. I'll be completely honest with you. I am someone that does struggle with saddle sores, and I have done for a little while now. I don't know whether it's my positioning, whether it's the fact I don't have much cushioning on my arse, but I seem to be like dealing with saddle sores quite a lot. And then that's pretty normal. I just manage them. I'll like do the normal stuff, managing saddle sores. But then this session on Tuesday, it was actually one of the best, if not the best, like interval session I've ever done on a bike, because it was basically a sweet spot pyramid that I have done before, and I worked up to the highest peak that I've ever done for 10 minutes. So you basically, it's like a threshold session, but you ramp up so 10 minutes, 5 by 10 minutes, and every 10 minutes you go up to a peak, and then you come back down the other way. And in short, I started at 185, next one was 190, then peaked at 195, and I'd never done that on that session. So I was like,
Nice.
wow, I feel good. Fitness is clearly
Fitness.
high. But then the one thing I did notice throughout this session is I was like very uncomfortable on the bike, like more so than I normally would be. And I was like shifting around. I was like, oh, mate, this is something's not quite right here. Like my arse is more like sore than it normally would. And then I got off, and long story short, like I've like had a bit of a, shall we say, flare up. Can't believe I'm saying this. I know we don't get a heap of listeners, but yeah, for anyone that doesn't know cycling, just look up saddle sores. It's quite a common thing, but in this instance, it was pretty bad, and I was like, I need to do the smart thing here, and I'm going to take a few days off because this is like as bad as it's been. So yeah, I was then like, okay, I'm not going to do any riding till I get like I'll see a GP, maybe get some stuff prescribed and get an opinion on whether I need to do anything more about this. And so I was like, okay, I'm feeling good. I've been feeling really good this week. So I was like, I want to do something. Why don't, instead of doing my normal ride on a Wednesday, I'm going to go for a bit of a longer run. So I did end up going out for 12K, real easy. And it actually felt really good. Like I do have to wear very cushioned carbon plates at the moment for my heel, because otherwise the impact is a little bit too much. But I got through 12K fine. Pulled up real nice.
Yeah, seen that on your Strava when I had a look?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking mega slow. Like I'm very conscious of keeping it very much zone 2.
Still a run, mate.
Yeah, mate. If that means like 550 pace up hills, 540 pace, 530, like I'm not too fussed really. So I did that, and then Thursday, again, I was still not going to go on the bike. I'm staying off the saddle. I'm going to try and see how I'll get away with 2 runs in a row, because I haven't done that in a long time. So I went out for another 10K, real easy, and I did stop every 2.5K. I was very purposeful in stopping to give, like, not even my heel a break at this point, but just my legs, because I've not done this amount of running in 2 days for a long time. And again, I felt a little bit fatigued, but I got through it okay. And I was quite pleased with that. And then today, which will be the last day I have off the bike, because long story short, did see a GP. And I just need to take a few more kind of precautions and stuff. So I should be good. And the flare up has died off. So fingers crossed, I'm okay. But I was like, all right, I'm not going to do any more running. I think I've exhausted that. And I know that even though I probably could, I'm not going to risk doing more than a couple of K on a treadmill. So I did that. I warmed up, did like 2K on the treadmill, real slow. And then I did a bit of an elliptical threshold session, because it's been a hot minute, and I felt good. I wanted to get some intensity in.
Yeah, just seeing you done a cheeky hour on the elliptical today.
Fucking horrible, man. It's actually dire. It was dreadful. I was like, I felt good running. That was the ironic thing.
Should have had a good album, mate.
I know. I was listening to the Tifo football podcast talking about how Tottenham are going to get relegated, and it was just too good to miss. But yeah, I was.
Side note, that's pretty crazy.
It's pretty mad, isn't it? We'll talk about this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did do. I think I did like 12 by 3 minutes, getting my heart rate up to it's a
Good on you.
threshold, which ironically is still exactly the same as what it would have been when I was marathon training. So realistically, I think let's
Fitness is
say
good.
fitness is good, and I think were it not for my heel, if I were to kind of couple of weeks worth of conditioning, I reckon I would be in the exact same running shape as I was
No doubt about it.
this
Yeah,
time last year
absolutely.
when I did the
Fitness
marathon.
is fitness, and
Well,
I know people
exactly.
talk about the specifics of running, and I think that's more important as the distance goes on. Having
Mm,
that sort of fatigue resistance and durability and the muscles and the tendons and so on.
yeah,
But
yeah,
over 5K, I guess, like, fitness is fitness, and
for sure.
I have absolutely no doubt you'd blitz a 5K given your current fitness.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's good, mate. You're getting a bit of a balance of um, swim or not swim,
Bike,
biking,
bike, elliptical, running.
elliptical running, and how the biking then. Have you been out with a group yet?
No, I've just been out just the once with a friend of mine, and then tomorrow I'm just waiting for him to reply. Actually, I might be going out with another um not a friend, more of an acquaintance who I actually found for another friend. I am planning on doing some group rides. It's just they're not particularly close to where I am, so I'd have to travel into the
Yeah.
city to find a group, and that's not always
Yeah.
the easiest thing to do when
How
you've
long?
got time.
Just out of interest, how long would it take you to cycle to the city? Could you cycle to the city? Is
You
there
could.
safe roads?
No, there's not safe roads basically. Or if I was to go, it'd have to be such a long-winded way. It'd probably take me, oh, mate. I I don't know off the top of my head. Like it would take a long time, and you'd be going through some pretty gnarly roads. So I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I'd be better off driving in and then doing a ride around from wherever I go, and then going back
How,
in the car.
how long's the drive?
30 minutes.
Oh, yeah. So if you're driving for
So
30 minutes and you're
yeah.
having to take an alternative route, if you were going to cycle, you're probably talking a couple of hours.
Basically, yeah, I'd say
Yeah,
I'd say a
nah.
couple of hours.
Yeah,
But
we're not doing that, like, are we?
there are a couple of good Rafa and map rides coming up. Like Rafa do a really nice. There's a place called Mount Pleasant, which is the northeast of Melbourne, and they go from um, basically the city. They ride up. It's like a 1,200 meters of elevation, so it's not the biggest distance, but it's very hilly. That's one I want to do at some point, and then Map have a nice. They're branding it like an Equinox ride. I don't know what exactly the purpose is, but that's coming up as well. I think that's like 90K with about 1,600 meters of elevation. That's a really
Nice.
good ride. That's a
Nice.
hectic ride. So I might
And
see if
I
I
would
can.
assume there'd be pretty big pack of people.
I think so. I think you'd probably get. I mean, you have to sign up
That would
for
be great
both.
fun.
Mate, it would, wouldn't it? You
Yeah.
get good chats on that kind of ride.
Yeah, that'd
Um,
be great. I just love that. Like, absolutely love that. Cycling
yeah.
in a massive pack is just class.
And there's probably at least someone that's on a similar fitness level to you, because you're always going to get
Mate,
the
you'll be
guys that.
absolutely fine. Like,
Yeah,
you'd be absolutely grand. I wouldn't
yeah.
even have any reservations for fitness.
Um,
Excuse me.
but it did get me thinking. I was like, well, what do I want to do with the cycling? And as much as I enjoy just going on general rides and getting out, I think I do have a bit of an itch to compete in some capacity, whether that's doing some like grand fondos, whether it's doing crits, maybe
Yeah, that's what
end
I
of
was
the
going to ask
end of the
last
year.
week when I re-listened to our episode and you mentioned about crit racing. The thought that
Mm.
came to my head is like sportives. Do you have those? I think they're kind of like grand fondos.
Oh,
Basically
I'm
just like, an organized ride. It could be for like a charity. It just could be a yearly thing. But you sign up, you go. It's not a race, so to speak. It's more just like a challenge.
mm. Yeah, yeah.
Do you have
There's
this?
plenty of those. There's one. Again, I think they're just different names, but there's one called Amy's Grand Fondo, and that's done in September, and you can do like various different distances. I think they are kind of classified as races, but no one's actually like it's like doing a marathon. They're classed as races, but the only people that are
Okay.
racing are the top 10. Um, and if you've got like thousands of people doing it, no one cares. But I think that was one that kind of took my fancy, because they've got like a hectic 240K or something, and then there's one that's
Cool.
about just over 100, which is kind of tempting. Um,
Yeah.
but otherwise, mate, there's a huge crit scene in Melbourne. Like there's crits every Saturday, so I'm
Yeah.
like, let's build up a little bit of kind of uh, endurance on the bike because these things are pretty brutal. It's like an
I was going
hour.
to say, you have to be ready for a bit of intensity in those.
Yeah, bro, it's an hour of just nonstop, like 100% go around a corner, 100% go around a corner,
Yeah.
and they're not for the faint-hearted. Like a lot, you eat shit a lot
Yeah.
because it's very tight knit. So I'd want to get pretty comfortable in a group and
Yeah,
going fast.
I've seen some of the footage of those crit races. They're pretty hectic. I don't know if they would be for me, given how I think I'd absolutely love them. Like the thrill and the adrenaline, but I'm just a bit of a loose cannon, mate. I'd be on the ground.
Yeah, see, what I think would save me is
I'd
the
be
fact
throwing
that
myself into corners far
see,
too
I wouldn't.
fast.
I'm a little bit more cautious. I reckon I could. But having said that, the one thing they say is it's the people that are
I
more
get
kind
that
of.
white line fever.
It's those people, it's the loose cannons that tend to do better because you just kind of trust instinct. It's the people that are more likely to second guess and
Yeah, no
take
doubt
it
about it.
conservatively. They
That's
actually
the
get
type
into
of
more
racing that
trouble.
it is. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
can see exactly why that is. Do you know? Have you ever seen the footage of those races from like the on bike cam?
yeah.
Oh
VC,
man,
let's get it. He
yeah, his
yeah, I've
footage
seen
is
his.
unreal of those crit races. That's
It's
exactly what I was thinking of.
so fast, mate.
It's mental, and he's a serious operator on a bike.
I mean, he got invited to a couple of training camps with
Yeah,
the pros
seen
over
that.
Christmas, and I
He
think he
held his
like
own.
held his own pretty well.
Yeah,
Like I,
the,
hmm,
yeah. The thing is that could he hold his own for 2 weeks? I
yeah,
think
that's
that's the big difference. I mean, he's like sub elite. He's right in that
yeah,
like, and I think he was spending a lot more of his matches than obviously the pro guys were because they just have like they have the strength. I think that's
yeah,
probably what he lacked a little bit. He has the fitness, but the strength is kind of what he would
sure,
struggle with over maybe. But this just conditioning over years, isn't it? Of doing that kind of thing. And I think that's what some of the young guys kind of have to kind of develop in their first few years of being with a pro team is just the pure strength, and it's kind of
sure,
like sink or swim for many of them. It's a lot of them just can't handle it. Just the fatigue.
absolutely, yeah. And I think there's like I don't think people. I feel like the lines are a lot smaller in running, but in cycling, the gap between the sub elites and the elites is pretty big. Like
Yeah, it
it's
is.
pretty big. It's not like you just suddenly get for a marathon. It's all done on times. That's what dictates whether you're sub elite or elite. And a sub elite person will just keep getting closer and closer to that time. But a
You see,
sub
that's
elite,
we can quantify it really easily because we can
yeah,
quantify it with the stopwatch, and of course on the bike you can say, oh well, like watts per kilo, but watts per kilo don't tell you can someone go for two
how long can
weeks
someone hold that? Yeah, yeah,
at full gas in a grand
yeah.
tour. That doesn't give you any indication into like the strength of an athlete. It gives you an indication into just fitness.
Like these guys are picking up little niggles. They're getting sick on these, and they're still going at that level. That's what people don't fully understand. It's not like a one-off marathon where it's like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to take a week off. It's like
Yeah.
these guys are doing the equivalent work, if not more, and then doing it again every day for 21 days with like 2 rest days. It's
Yeah.
mate,
It's absolute
cycling
madness.
is not for the faint heart. Professional cycling is not for the faint-hearted at all.
No, no. And
Um,
speaking of cycling, it's the best time of year for cycling, in my opinion. The spring classics are just
mhm.
around the corner. I think did we talk about
They've
that
already
a couple of weeks ago?
technically they're all the Cobble Classics have already started, mate. You had Omloop was last Saturday, won by none other than Mr. Van der Poel,
Yeah,
unsurprisingly. And there's been some good little like Belgium races because again I'm at that stage where I'm into all the like the niche little races, and there's been
yeah,
some good stuff happening. There's a young English rider from Visma won at the weekend as well. I forget the race, Brussels Kern maybe.
yeah. Kern
She's
Brussels Kern. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Strada
So
Bianca is this weekend. That's my
that's
favorite.
this weekend. Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah,
That's a big
So
one.
I look forward to sitting down maybe on
It's
Sunday.
Poggy's debut as
Oh,
well
it's
this year.
actually tomorrow. I think it might be tomorrow. I've just looked at a calendar here. I think it might be
I thought it was the
tomorrow. Ah,
women's.
yeah.
The women's.
So it says Strada Bianchi Women 2026, 7th of March. Strada Bianchi 2026, which I assume is the men, 7th of March. But
Mm.
I always thought it was on the Sunday. I could be wrong.
They might have been. I think I was listening to a podcast, and it might be that they're doing the men's first, and then they'll do the women's in the evening because it'll be a modified course for the women. They won't do as far. I think they're both shortened. I think they shortened both of them to make it more even because anything that's too long, just Pogacar wins because he's the one that can hold it for the longest. And they wanted to
Yeah,
make it
yeah. It just comes down to like physiology as opposed to
racing, bike
yeah,
racing. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like, okay, we need to take off like 40K here to make it even for everyone because if you give like Pogacar an 80 kilometers to go and let him go, he's going to win it. He's going to win it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. It is Saturday, mate. So
Both on Saturday.
it's tomorrow. Yeah, I'll maybe try and catch a bit of that because that is, yeah, I love that time of year because our weather's starting to change and you also have the great 1 day classics all happening. It's pure class. I love sitting down, usually after a long run on a Sunday,
That's lovely. That's
lying on
recovery.
the sofa with just surrounded by food and watching the bike racing. It's perfect Sunday.
Fuck
Not
yeah,
getting
man.
dragged to furniture shops or whatnot.
I love that.
Delete that.
Yeah, no,
Only joking.
let's cut that off quickly. But look, mate, on that point, we're about to wrap up an hour, mate. So I think it's maybe time to kind of go over plans for the weekend. We got anything on? Can see how you feel for training?
Plans for the weekend are pretty minimal, mate. I hope to recover from this shitty cold, which hopefully I will. I thought I would have shifted it by now, but yeah, it's lingering around and I felt really rough this morning when I woke up. So sun is shining right now. So I'm going to do a little bit of work when I finish up with this. And then I might try to get out for just a walk, mate, because that
Lovely.
sunshine
Yeah.
is just too good not to be in. So I might go grab myself a cup of coffee and head into Lurgan Park for a wee dander. Apart from that, no real plans. Hopefully have some more information on running next week and return to running. And yeah, we'll take it from there. So nice crazy
Exciting.
weekend, mate. What about you?
Lovely. Yeah, it should be pretty straightforward for us as well. Like, I'll see how I feel tomorrow about whether I'm waiting for, like I said, I'm waiting for a reply. Might go out for a ride with a friend. If not, I might head out on my own. The only difference will be time. Like, I think if I go out with this guy, it might be a bit earlier. Whereas otherwise, yeah, I'll see. And then I don't think we've got any other plans. Like, I think it's going to be real quiet for us. Technically, it's a public holiday here, but I'm needed to work on Monday, so not a public holiday for me. But I'm sure there'll
Strada
be plenty.
Bianchi.
Problem is, it's on the middle of the night, mate.
I know.
I'm gutted. I can't even like. I would watch it as if it were live if they play the whole thing, but all I get is like a 10-minute highlight.
Yeah, no good.
It's a bit of a shame. But
Did none of the Aussie channels show it? SBS or anything? No?
they might, but again, it's that I doubt they'd show the whole thing. They'd probably show it live and then just give you a brief highlight. It's only the Aussie rides that they tend to give you the whole thing. But
yeah,
it is what it is. I'm the one who chose to move to Australia, so it's my bad.
You've made your bed.
I've made my bed. I got to sleep in it, mate. I've got to wait till the Tour Down Under 2027. Yeah, nothing major, and yeah, hopefully got some more training updates for next week. But guys, that is pretty much an hour on the dot. So we're gonna leave it there. Thank you as always, for tuning in to hearing us talk about Harry Styles. We'll have plenty more on that next week once I've listened to the album as well. So stay tuned.
You want to go finish that album?
Adam's going to go finish it for the 17th time today. And so we'll have plenty more to talk about next week. So guys, thank you as always. If you do have a moment to spare us a like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff means the world. Even share it with your friends. Again, that means the world to us as well. So thank you very much. And we will see you guys soon.